Okay, Mrs. Pollen, we started a coaching cycle, and this is your pre conference before I visit for observation. Remember, my visits are not evaluative, I'm just here to help. Which instructional area would you like for me to focus on when I visit?
I'm thinking I would like to try gradual release. You did just do the PD right before Thanksgiving break, so I think that's where I want to go.
Okay, I will script or video record the lesson to guide our discussion during the post conference, so that will work. What are your learning goals for this lesson?
Um, the benchmark that we're using this week is ELA 2R 2.1, and it's about text features.
Okay, now let's dig a little deeper. Let's look at the benchmark and clarifications in our book here.
Okay. Okay, here we go. So here's the benchmark. It says explain how text features, including titles, headings, captions, graphs, maps, glossaries, and/or illustrations, contribute to the meaning of text.
Okay, so what do you notice about the benchmark that's like standing out that we need to focus on?
I just noticed there's some bolded pieces, says explain, and what we're really explaining is how those text features they list contribute to the meaning of the text. So that's
Okay,
where we're going.
that sounds good. Um, so
Should we go to the glossary and make sure I get those terms correct when I teach them?
I think that's a great idea.
Okay.
I like to always check the glossary. Should be right in the back.
Okay. So I'm not seeing those terms.
Okay. So what do you think our next step would be if we don't see them in the glossary?
Go to the appendix.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Let's do that. The appendices should have something in there.
Make sure I don't pass it.
Okay.
Am I-
I think you're getting close now.
Okay. Okay.
Yep,
Here we
next
go.
one. Mm-hmm.
Right here.
Yep.
Okay. Here we go. Yeah. There's captions, graphs, headings, illustrations, all of those.
So all the pieces that were in the benchmark and the appendices under a text feature chart.
Okay.
So what I tell teachers a lot is that if you want students to have access to this,
Mm-hmm.
you could always copy it, shrink it down, and have it in their and so that you can glue it into their interactive
Oh, that's
notebook.
good for reference.
Yeah, and then they
Yeah.
can highlight or say, I know some of these we may not cover,
Mm-hmm.
like annotation, but maybe you will cover caption and graph, and you can
Yeah.
just highlight it and have it there.
Okay. Okay.
And then when you come back to this benchmark later, you can always pull it out again or review it.
That's
So
a good
that could be a
idea.
resource for you. And then let's see what else. Now let's make sure that we arc the benchmark so that you
Okay.
have your posters ready to hang in your room on your
Okay.
learning board.
All right. So we just read that. We know that we're explaining how text features contribute to the meaning of the text with all the different ones listed in there.
Mhm.
So I'm not going to do any objectives because I think the benchmark itself covers everything, and there were no clarifications. I don't know if we need to look back, but
I don't remember any on the chart
yeah,
in the pink.
yeah, there are no clarifications, so we should be good on that.
And you're right about the objectives. I think it would just be redundant to list all of that, and it would be overwhelming for kids to see all these bullets for all
Okay.
of that. Because as a good teacher, when you run into one of those features, you'll just fill it into your sentence stem
Okay.
and just keep applying it either way it goes. It'll
Okay.
be fine. Let's see. Okay, now that we have a solid understanding of the benchmarks/learning goals, let's add in the text of the week to make sure that you know how to apply the benchmark.
Okay, so I already read the text, and it's called Life in the Cold. It's nonfiction, so I think it's going to go well with the benchmark with the different text features.
That'd be perfect because it's nonfiction, so that's how it works. I love it when it works out like that. Let's take a few minutes to read the text. We're going to use some sticky notes and mark areas where you will stop and ask some benchmark based questions. Don't forget to plan out how you will release the work to the students.
Okay.
So here's the book. We're going to start here and we'll just glance through and
Okay.
you'll just say, here's a good spot for a map or what.
Okay.
So we'll take a minute.
Okay, so here they have headings. I think that will be helpful to kids um, to understand like what it's about, because the headings always give you a suggestion of what it'll be about.
And then kids will say, the heading contributes to the meaning of the text because like that. They'll just
Okay.
finish that stem.
Okay. Okay. All right. And here we have some captions under the pictures, so we'll use those. Graphs on this page, that'll be good
That'd
too.
be good. Perfect.
Another heading, a map.
Hmm.
Okay.
That'd be good.
Yeah. So I think I'm going to I think I'll read page 45 and 46 aloud to the class, and then I'll perform a think aloud for like how to use the 2.1 text features
Hmm.
of the benchmark. So I saw a map. I'm going to use this sentence stem, so this is kind of how I'll do it. The map on page 45 adds to the meaning of the text because it shows where Antarctica is located in relation to the United States. That helped me understand why the narrator said that they had to travel for days to reach their destination. Seeing that map right there helped me fully understand why it would take so long. So that's how I think I'll model it out for the kids. Is that okay?
I like that. And I think you did a great explanation for why the text feature matters and how it helped you understand the text better.
Okay.
Because say you read this whole paragraph about Antarctica and where it's located, but in your mind you had no clue where it really was in relation to where you are.
Okay.
So once you saw that, you realize, okay, I'm here and it's way over here. That's why they had to travel. So it like made a good connection for you.
Okay.
So I think that's a great explanation.
And then I think on page 47 and 50, I think I'm gonna have them partner read, find the text features, and then they can explain using that same model that I just showed them. They'll explain with their partner how the features add to the meaning of the text.
Hmm.
So I think that'll be good. And then maybe even, is it important? Do I need to have them do sticky notes? I've seen some people use sticky notes. How can I use those? I mean, is that beneficial to the kids?
You could. The other option would be in their interactive notebook. You have them taking some notes because now I'm working with a partner. So I saw my
Okay.
teacher do it. Now we're doing it, and then I'm gonna have my independent piece in a minute too. So
Okay.
maybe in the notebook, sticky notes are fine too if the
Mhm.
text is really long.
Okay.
This is a shorter one, so
Okay.
I think we're okay.
Okay. And then lastly, I think I'm going to do the same thing for pages. Let me go back to it. 50 to 52. I'm going to have them do that independently though, so that I will have modeled it for them following that gradual release. And then I had the part where they got to practice it with their partner.
Right.
And then they're doing it independently. At that point, I think I'm going to come around the room, reading their answers, and recording their progress on my standards tracker. And then that way, I'll take that information tomorrow and try to make my small groups from either tomorrow or later in the week from that information.
Okay. So tell me more about your standards tracker. What are you doing with that? It has what's on the tracker?
So on the standards tracker, if after I've gone through the gradual release, I'm going to put that benchmark there, and I have a little like like a little key, a little thing that tells me like if they haven't, if they're close to having it, or if they're way off. And then that way, after I've watched everybody do it, I go through and I just kind of group them according to their ability with the standard or their
Okay.
understanding of the standard.
Okay. That sounds good. I like that. Um, okay, so that's your standards tracker. We got it. Then I like the way you broke down the pages releasing the work as you move through the text. This isn't their first encounter with the benchmark, so the independent task does sound reasonable. I like that you plan to check for understanding with the independent task. This will check the effectiveness of the lesson to make sure that what you presented and what the benchmark says, you actually accomplished it. Like, are we successful? Do we feel successful? I think you're ready. Thanks for your time today. I will be in to observe on Wednesday at 10:30. Is that still a good time?
Yeah, I think that sounds
Okay, and then we will schedule the post conference
good.
after and reflect to plan for further instruction.
Okay.
Sounds good?
Yeah. And if everything goes okay with that, then if you think I'm good with the gradual release, I think just kind of keep in your mind. I think the next part that I want to go on to is like now that I have my data and I know who I'm pulling in my groups, how do I address their understanding or lack of understanding with the different levels? So I think that's where I want to go next.
Like a guided reading group.
Yes,
level reading.
whatever your suggestion is for that.
Okay, I think we can do that. I like your next step.
Okay.
So I will see you next time, and you have a good day.
Okay.
Thank you.